If you're not around, then what businesses, what products, what services could be created? Nothing. What matters is you, not the idea, not the business. You are what matters. I do want to touch on the Harvard thing about product market fit. I alluded to it in number 1 video. So product market fit from this Harvard class that I took was really based on tech ventures. And tech ventures are all over the place. They're very unique in the sense that you can really achieve crazy scale with tech ventures, with startups, with software. And if it's not software, then you have hard tech. In hard tech, you have a lot of intellectual property moats that can protect you in execution mode. I think it's a good time to say that what kind of business are you making? Are you making an innovation-based startup? Are you making a service business? Are you selling things via e-commerce online? What are the goals? Are you trying to radically change an industry? Are you trying to change your life, right? And that might be totally different. That might be totally different because you might only need to make $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $500 a month, and that could change your world. That's really different than moving the needle on an industry. Very different exercises, and they might deploy different tools within different vehicles of businesses. It's really important to know, what are you doing? So I'm going to share a framework with you that I teach all my students, and that it's really derived from insights that I've garnered over the years. So there's 3 things. There's the idea, there's the entrepreneur, and then there's the business that wraps those 2 together. And I always remind this because it's easy to wrap yourself in everything that you do. Your identity becomes one. And so then when the business doesn't really take off the way you want it, or something fails, you internalize it so much that now you're viewing yourself as defective. The important thing is that the entrepreneur must be recycled. Save yourself. If you're not around, then what businesses, what products, what services could be created? Nothing. What matters is you, not the idea, not the business. You are what matters. And so I always like to remind people that there's the idea, the entrepreneur, and the business. And so when you're making businesses, it's hard. The business might not be right. Maybe your pricing isn't right. Maybe your customer segment isn't right. Maybe the industry, there's a lot of headwind. Any number of reasons. Maybe you're undercapitalized for that headwind. Maybe you can't acquire customers as fast as you possibly can. Maybe the idea just wasn't there. Maybe the idea just didn't get people enough value. Maybe it's a vitamin. Maybe it's not a pain reliever. Maybe it's not an antibiotic that people really need. And then look at the entrepreneur. Are you even in the right space? Was that the right idea for you as the entrepreneur? Like, does it match with what you care about? Does it match with your experience? Does it match with how you talk about things and your skill sets? All that matters. And when those things are not aligned, you can forget all of this business stuff that we're going to be talking about on this channel and anything that you hear, because if those things are not aligned, you're really fighting an uphill battle, because that's really not understanding your strengths. You're now just playing your weaknesses. So get those 3 things solid first. Figure out who you are as an entrepreneur, even if you're early stage, even if you don't know if you're made for this stuff. Make sure that your idea is something that matches with you as an entrepreneur and that people really would want. And then evaluate, do you have the right business model? We will go in depth on that stuff. But you got to get the first and the second right. And just remember, there's no wrong answer. You can pick a not sexy or not interesting area to make an idea. That's okay. The execution and who you are can actually blend it together and make it really interesting. So go create, think about where you're going to be, and reflect on who you are as a founder.